Okay, I got 5 o'clock, so we'll call the meeting to order. Consideration of any changes, additions, or removal to the agenda? No changes, I guess.
I do not have any.
I don't have anything.
Approve the minutes from the previous meeting on January 6, 26.
I'll make a motion to approve those meetings.
I'll second it. All in favor?
All right.
Aye. Okay. Comments from citizens. We have citizens here. You want to wait until we get to that part, or later on in the agenda? Okay. Department head reports.
I didn't see one.
I've got one in here.
Yes, there is one. I have it here.
I didn't have one in my packet. Thanks.
Okay.
Oh.
I've already copied it, so it'll be part of the minutes.
Yeah.
If
Okay.
you want.
I got one.
Here, you can
of
give
mine.
this to
Okay.
BJ. Give that one to BJ, please. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I see the springs are producing 15.3 million gallons of water. In January, we used only 6.8 million, and that's a little bit higher than we did in January of 25. So we still got plenty of water. Security cameras are up and running at the springs. Did they come and fix, hook the cameras up? It says here first week of February.
They did.
Good.
They did. Yep, we were monitoring.
Apparently, we had some frozen water lines last year that cost the department some money. And we've notified the people that were involved. It did freeze up to keep their water running until May, and that should eliminate the freeze-ups.
Excuse me, Ron, should the report say 2025?
Which part of it? What are you-
Frozen water service lines cost the water
Oh,
department
yeah,
20.
20, yeah, not
I will,
2015, thank you. I guess the costs of chlorine and sodium have risen, and delivery fees have doubled over the last 5 years. The altitude valve at Godfrey Tank is working, and they're continuing to blow off the deep-long cordon extension. Any questions, BJ, on
Nope.
this?
No?
Okay. I don't think we have to make a motion to approve that, do we?
No.
Okay.
I have a fresh, we're moving on.
Receivables?
Yep. This was just done today.
Okay.
Each can take one, at least you can have one. Much improved from last month. Of course, we always hone in on over 120 days. And for water in January, we were sitting at about 11,900 outstanding.
Mhm.
And now we're at about 9,600, so we're getting a little bit better.
That's good.
We have a plan in place in terms of both water and sewer for those that have a big ticket item.
Mhm.
You have a plan in place?
We have a plan in place.
Okay.
We're gonna wait till, of course, things kind of warm up a little bit.
Okay.
Hopefully later this week a little bit.
Yeah, it's supposed to be. So we're looking good there.
Good.
Okay, we have a review and possibly approve water allocation request at 25 Prospect Street. It looks like their current water allocations is for three bedrooms, and they want to propose the allocation to 4 bedrooms.
I'll move to approve the increase from 3 to 4 bedrooms over at 25 Prospect Street, Ludlow.
Okay, I'll second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So we've approved that. Review and possibly approve request for drinking water abatement for 2025 and 26 for ongoing issues at 16 Thompson Avenue, Bill Davis, and 15 Thompson Avenue, Christian Garvey.
So I'll tee this up and then we'll turn it over to the residents.
Yep.
You all know the ongoing water issues, drinking water issues we're having at the end of Thompson Ave. We're still waiting on results from the latest water tests where we had Vermont rural water come out. We have drinking water in both of their homes. That WB Mason, the same outfit that provides drinking water here in the town hall. Hopefully that is set up and working properly now. And so the issue that I discovered after working with you all since I've been here really did come to light in end of February, early March, I think of last year from what I could tell.
Been a year.
Yeah. And so I think it's in our best interest to abate their drinking water. They've already paid, they're already paid up. So I would recommend that we provide both homes with either a refund or we credit them for water from last year and then going forward until we can get this pinpointed and figure out what's happening.
Okay.
I don't know if y'all want to add anything to that, but.
I mean, I can add, I appreciate you putting that to motion. I feel like we've been more than willing to deal with the issue. However, at this point in time, we need a firm and in writing plan with what the Water Commission is gonna do to deal with this issue. And it can't be, last time we were here, it was, we'll continue flushing. The flushing never worked, ever. Like, it never worked. And if we didn't catch it, and we didn't get notified that the flushing was gonna happen, I think it happened one time, I got a text message saying that the flushing was gonna happen. When the line is flushed, it kicks up everything that's in that line. So if I don't catch that, and I'm not around or home or whatever, or see the water department truck there, and we come home and someone takes a shower, someone does this, someone does that, everything that's been kicked up hits everything in our home. And it's been grossly ineffective, and almost to the point where I've said, whether via text message or in-person conversation with Joe, where I've said, this isn't working. Like, you guys flush the line, all you're doing is kicking up everything that's in that line. It's probably choked down to, forgive me for not remembering his name, the gentleman that came and assisted with the testing last week.
Harry.
Him and I had a really good conversation, and he said, yeah, every time you flush the line, you're kicking everything up that's in that line, and you're disturbing the water source. So, flushing, not flushing, whatever it is not working. And this is, and I feel like, I know I did this. This is after 5 days of changing a filter. So there's 2 filters in the house. So Bob Kirkbride knew that there was an issue way back when. So this is the filter that filters the water that comes into the house before it hits everything else, before it hits every appliance that's in the house. So this is after 5 days. This is post hot water heater after 5 days. And this is another post hot water heater after 5 days. And this one, for whatever reason, is worse than this one. And this is supposed to be white. So every time we take a hot shower, we're bathing in whatever this filter doesn't pick up. So again, to go back to what I started with, I feel like we've been more than amicable to accept what the water department wants to do, and whatever game plan you guys have, But we need something in writing to know when this is getting fixed. And that's it. Unfortunately, we've kind of reached a tipping point. Flushing isn't gonna fix it. The line needs to be replaced. And I don't know what thought process is going on with the Water Commission to spend the money. I mean, I know money's tight, I get that. But to spend the money to connect, and I don't know if anybody's done any research, to spend the money to connect Thompson to Orion, and think that that was gonna be, we're getting the front, I think the term that I was given was we're getting in front of it, and we're gonna jump ahead and complete phase one or phase whatever. To take my understanding is that it's a 6-inch line that connects Thompson to Orion through our backyard. I don't know if it's 6 or 8. But to spend that money and go through that process, and I never agree, and I've talked to a representative from M&M Excavating who thinks that it's ludicrous. I talked to Harry. Harry doesn't think it makes any sense. But to spend that money to reconnect Thompson to Orion, put in a brand new water pipe and consider that as part of the fix, doesn't make any sense. And if Joe was here, I'd ask him the question, and are there issues with other dead-end streets? And prior to this meeting, I've asked that question before, and the answer I've always gotten was no. So I don't know how it makes any sense to spend a significant amount of money. The last thing I heard was that there was over $13,000 worth of pipe and connection that was delivered to the end of our street when that was supposed to take place. When I think that connection should be abandoned. And I think we should have a blow-off at the end of Thompson. I think there should be a blow-off at the end of Orion. And I don't know why that connection was ever installed, if it was for further infrastructure, if it was for another development, I'm not 100% sure. But that, to me, doesn't make any sense, because you're taking a line, and in conversations with Harry, he feels that line is choked down to 2 inches. The line that exists in Thompson and the line that exists in Orion is choked down to 2 inches because it's filled with corrosion. So to take a brand-new 8-inch line and put that in and leave everything else alone and consider that, really just putting a Band-Aid on it, and if someone else can explain it to me in a way that makes sense, and maybe I'm not as well versed in water flow, but taking a brand new 8-inch line that has the ability to handle all the volume of an 8-inch line and send that into a line that's choked down to 2 inches doesn't really make a lot of sense, because you're gonna be kicking up everything that's in both lines.
Mm-hmm.
So that really doesn't make a whole hell of a lot of sense to me. And for the water department to spend the money on doing that when it's really, in my opinion, kind of useless, it just doesn't make a lot of sense. And furthermore, in conversations with Bill, when they turn on that blow-off at the end of Thompson, my understanding, again, and I don't work in that field, but my understanding of water pressure is that hose that they're hooking up to that blow-off should be something that has to be held by at least one person.
Ron, you can take a 2.5-inch fire hose and squeeze it like this.
There's no pressure there.
No pressure.
There's not 100 gallons a minute that comes out of that.
So
That's
what
some
happens if
yard
there was a
hydrant.
fire on our street?
Then the fire department's pulling off the hydrant all the way down at the end of, at the top of Doug Road. Because Terry's, the one in front of Terry's house is dead
Don't do it
too.
either.
So now we're talking about safety. And again, my kids are bathing in this.
Yeah.
And Lynn has a picture of a tub that she drew for her daughter when she was sick. And I encourage anybody with grandkids to think, like, if you saw that picture, you were babysitting your grandkids, or even frankly your own kids, and you drew that tub, you wouldn't put your grandkids in that tub. It's disgusting. And we're way past, putting a Band-Aid on this thing. We need a firm and definitive plan for what we're gonna have going forward and when it's gonna happen. And, you know, unfortunately, you know, whatever the town has to do to make that happen financially, because I know it's not cheap, I, you know, kind of work in that area. I know it's not gonna be cheap, but the alternative isn't gonna be any cheaper. So we need a firm plan.
I agree, definitely agree. It's way past time to get it done. I wish Joe was here, but the biggest problem right now is the cold weather. The freezing, everything's froze solid. The frost line is really low.
Right.
And like Bill indicated earlier, you start jackhammering that and other things break.
We're gonna start breaking lines.
No,
With a hammer on an excavator, you're gonna rattle, and we don't know if that main is cast iron. It's just gonna, keep
it's gonna
flipping.
crumble. But the,
I mean, it should have been done last summer.
Yes, I think the frustration, the major frustration is, and Penny knows this because we've talked about it, that this was reported last March.
Mhm.
This digging, this exploratory, this investigating, all of these avenues that should have been dug, there was March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, and November that these things could have and should have happened. And unfortunately, our former town manager didn't, I understand and appreciate your position where you weren't even really made aware of this until I think it was October or November meeting, so.
Something like that, wasn't it, BJ?
But it does need to, you know, be looked at and addressed because this project, for convenience of others, in our opinion, was kicked down the road until maybe they'll forget about it, maybe they'll stop asking about it, maybe it won't be so bad. But, so that does need to be really looked at. You know.
What do you all think of, in these warmer temperatures that we're supposed to get, with M&M's idea of placing valves on either end to try and really pinpoint where in the line, because it's so bizarre that it's just two homes.
They have to be done anyway. If you replace the whole street, we still have to have valves to be able to isolate it. There's no way of
Yep.
shutting the loop off.
Yep,
So you still have to put the valves in. So that won't be a waste. That won't be a waste.
and
so,
And then we can shut the lines down and figure out, there may be a small leak somewhere. We don't know and it hasn't surfaced. Nobody knows.
right,
There's no way of knowing until you do some exploratory.
And at that point, you know, in terms of like the long term, I mean, like, why not? I don't know if that'll do anything. If that line is choked down that much, which Harry's seen other water
Yes.
lines in town, and also, there's other people on the street that don't have a filter. So they're not seeing that. So if you don't have a filter anywhere in your home, and the water comes out clear, it looks relatively clear, but you're not, you don't know what you don't know. Terry doesn't have a filter, Terry Thane doesn't have a filter in his house. So, not everybody has that,
To
but
the naked eye.
You can't
Right,
see it
so
with
if
a
you have it
naked
in a
eye.
clear drinking glass, you're seeing what's behind the drinking glass, so you're not seeing a bottom reflecting the yellow that's there. If you have a white bathtub or a white coffee cup, and you put that water in there, it looks like, I'm sorry, somebody is peeing in there. It's,
But yeah, not everybody on the street is probably doing tubs.
Right,
Or
right.
seeing, or really
Right.
looking at it. like,
Jeannie
the
has a
way that-
filter. Jeannie has a filter, and last time I talked to her, and she said she changes it once a month. Well, if the water's that clean, she shouldn't even have to change it once a month.
What's the one on High Street? That was 6 months.
it's 28 High Street, and it's been there, I looked at it again the other day, it's crystal clear.
After 6 months, so even a month, once a
No,
month.
that was,
is-
it's been 8 months.
8 months ago. So even once a month is better, so then that's a good indicator.
But again,
And ours is
We're-
obviously
we're-
the worst, but.
we know what the symptoms are, we know what the fix is. When's it gonna happen?
replacement of the entire line is the fix.
Right.
And so the initial estimate that we were given from A&E contractor that we use a lot, and when I asked them this, I said, I want an estimate for sewer as well, wastewater. If we're gonna do both, if we're gonna do one, do both. Approximately $1 million. And I said, okay, if you had to spitball on it, so you know where this is gonna go. So 500,000 plus or minus for just the water line. We have applied through A&E engineers for the grant I was telling you about. That's gonna take a while. It's not something that we're going to learn, that we've received funding this year. And that's through the drinking water state revolving funds.
Now, are we gonna be able to move forward with more expediency than that process of waiting for the approval on the money?
I would suggest we go to the voter and we ask for a bond.
Is that something we can get in time for the vote, the village vote that'll be coming up?
I don't know.
Okay.
If you do that, if you go that route, will that screw up your grant? Or will you be able to take, if you happen to get the grant, and roll it back towards the
It won't,
bond?
it won't screw it up. Nope. So, short term, I think there is value in, if we get these temperatures they're saying we're going to get, then we do have M&M go up with Ron Tarble and install those valves and see if we can really determine, pinpoint where we're having this issue. If we can, see something. Long term, so we're looking at anywhere from 600,000 to just over $1 million. If you wanted to do the water line and then wastewater, or you want to do it all at once.
Makes sense to do it all at once, if you
It
cut it
does.
up once.
The engineering firm that we have coming in to give us a definitive on what needs to be replaced and what efforts we should make to start off with?
They
Are
have
we
not
gonna-
done any, they'd have to do some preliminary designs, they'd have to kind of sit down with our water department. They're not up to speed on everything that these guys have been living through.
Right.
We could get them up to speed, for sure.
Well, I feel like where they are right now is an
Yeah.
unreasonable spot to be in for this long. So I think we're all trying to move with whatever expediency we can for you guys. I don't think there's anybody on this side that doesn't feel that urgency to get this straightened out for you. Frozen ground, it sounds like our biggest holdup at this point. And then figuring out, I don't think we've ever had a conversation that said that we're not willing to spend the money that it takes to get you guys clean water. So I don't think we're in that spot.
Right, I think the issue that I'm hearing is the timing of it.
Mhm.
And it's been going on for a year, and I'm not waiting another year.
Right.
I'm not waiting, frankly, another 6 months. Like, this is, it's not healthy. And frankly, it affects, we're not going anywhere for a long time, but if I wanna throw that house in the market right now, I'm taking a hit, a big one. And
Well, the fire safety thing has me a little, once I learned that, I'm losing sleep on that, because that's part of what I do for work, and I'm very tuned into like fire and safety, and the fact that if something goes up on our house, on our street, we potentially wouldn't have enough water to put it out. I mean, we can't wait another
You
year
do,
on
it's
that.
at the end of the street with that brand new 8-inch line that they put in 3 years ago.
Is that, and that's.
You gotta run the hose, you actually gotta lay hose off a fire truck to do it.
Right.
Anyway, what's the, I'm sorry, forgive me, town meeting May, or
March.
Oh, March.
Right.
That's why we don't have time. I'm thinking it's May, right? Is there any chance of getting that on, I don't know what the process is for getting that question on there.
Well, does this fall into the village or the town?
It sounds like it would make you guys feel better if you knew you had that up front versus the chicken, the chicken and egg scenario. I mean, I get that, financially speaking, it's reasonable.
Well, I think the best thing to do is
Let me research that.
research
Please.
that
Yep.
and see if we can get a bond for town meeting.
Yep.
And as soon as the weather breaks enough so that M&M can get up there and put the valves in, I think we ought to do that right away. You know, if there's more, there's 40-degree temperatures coming sometime this week and next.
Lined up where we can get this
I'll
money
follow up
quickly.
and,
I'll record, I'm gonna video record the rest of this meeting. Just so we have it.
Town meeting is what date?
March 2nd?
The village meeting,
So you'd have to send a mailer out to add it to the,
Well, not necessarily,
Ballot.
if you bring something to the floor.
What about a special vote?
That's what I need to do a little research with Ula and with Diane, to see what some of the rules are and whether or not it comes to town or to trustees, to the village, and what's the best way to do that. They have made changes to the budget in the past, so I need to do a little research on that. But I think that's the best way to get that funding, is to go for a bond.
I think it's important enough to get it done.
Yeah.
If we have to change the budget, we have to change the budget, but you guys have waited way too long to get action in this, and I think we should move as quickly as possible, and get the situation as clean as we can, as soon as we can. We apologize for having you wait that long. Unfortunately, it's maybe bureaucracy or whatever, but the situation has got to be fixed, and we got to do it as soon as possible. In reference to you, do you want a refund or credits on your abatement?
Roll it into this year, it's just,
credits.
Credit?
credit,
Yeah, thank you.
I think you also bring up a good point of communication. I think we're finding ourselves here because of communication from two different sides. First off, communication to the Water Commission. Since I took the position in the spring, I've just heard we continue to flush Thompson and Orion on a weekly basis to
you're
keep,
not
to
flushing
keep
it
their
down
water
until the
clean.
hydrant's froze up.
Right.
Yeah.
No, but I'm just saying, from the Water Department to the Water Commission has just been an announcement each one of these meetings that says we continue to flush those lines so that way they have clean water. I to not really know what's been happening this entire time, and to find ourselves in this spot where the ground's freezing when we can finally take action on that's a communication problem on the town side. So that's something we've got to fix on our side. But what you're saying is also, and if we're going to be flushing those lines, there should be somebody reaching out to you before the flushing happens, so that way you're prepared to know where
Right.
you're at.
I appreciate that, and thank you. But, I've been, not saying it from the rooftops, but I've been pretty adamant with the fact that the flushing doesn't do anything. And I think that speaks to the severity of how choked down that water main is. I mean, it's
Yeah.
just,
Right, and for whatever reason, the flushing makes ours less yellow for a day or so. But that's it, and if we were to weigh them having brown water when they turn their
It
shower
makes
on.
theirs worse, it makes ours
we
better
would-
for a day or two.
Our
Yeah.
preference would be that,
Yeah.
let's just abandon this flushing project because, well, number one, it's frozen,
Yeah.
so it can't be done. But number two, I mean, when you weigh the two, yellow versus brown water pouring out of their shower head, it's the obvious answer, is stop flushing. Because it's not.
I don't want to speak out of turn, but at the same time, is there another filter system that we should be putting in these houses that will do a much better job or have more longevity than just a day or two after flushing, or even, you know, I mean, is there something else we should be considering to give you guys a short-term option that's not gonna have your families going through this for the next few months?
There are, I mean, we take care of 150 different properties in town, and some are up on the mountain, well, most of them are up on the mountain, and they have pretty I mean, the water on the mountain is a completely different animal than what we have in the village, but I mean, they have pretty extensive water filtration systems that are not inexpensive, by any means. And we're at the point right now where, you know, I've researched that, and I was just gonna do it because to speak to Ron's point, you know, whether it be bureaucracy or whatever, things don't move as fast as they should. And I can't keep doing that.
Right.
I can't.
That's what
I
I'm
don't-
wondering, yeah.
Frankly, I don't, and it's not even, I mean, the filters cost, you know, for a pack of 2, they're $11. So you just replace them and kind of put your head down and go. I mean, it's a little time consuming, whatever, but it is what it is. But at the same time, you know, the reality of the situation is, you know, I brought the same colored filters in the last meeting that we came to, and I put them on that table and said, here you go, this is what we're dealing with. And now we're 60, 90 days later, and obviously it's kind of useless for me to bring them in, but I feel like you guys have to see them because that's what we're dealing with, that's what we're bathing in, that's
Are we supplying you with the filters?
not yet.
I've asked.
And,
She's asked.
She's asked.
yeah,
Yeah, again, it's not the cost, it's.
I know.
but
No,
that's
it's
not
it's
really
$11.
even-
And it's beyond
It's
that.
not, it's not cleaning the water the way,
Yeah.
if perfect water was coming out and they cost the $11,
Yeah.
we'd just keep doing it, but it's not solving it, so.
Right.
That's
Right.
more the issue, it's like Band-Aid.
and I will say, you know, on record, I'm disappointed that, you know, there's a couple people not in attendance here. Just because I feel like it would provide a little bit more validity to, you know, what we're going through. And, you know, I do need everybody in this room to understand that, you know, it's affecting our health. I mean, something has to change quick, and my hope is that there's a plan B. If you can't get something, you know, for town meeting, like, there has to be a plan B. And it's gotta change, like, quick. And I know, I understand frozen ground and so on and so forth, but we need to know April, May, whatever it is, that something's gonna change.
Agree with you.
Yeah, I
We
think
all
that's,
do.
yeah. There's no one on this side of the table that feels differently from that,
Right.
so.
Can you sit down with Joe and make sure we have a plan B if the A doesn't work?
I will, and I'll put it in writing, and
Well,
tomorrow I'll speak with Ula, and like I said, some of the others there.
And also, hopefully someone can figure out why that connection took place.
The horseshoe,
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, for the light, I know that there was, you know, Bob's got plans in the basement that I've been lucky enough to have, and it's pretty cool looking at them, but I mean, I know that there was plans for a development up behind us. Like, the cemetery ended up buying the land, but I know that there was plans up there. And I also know that there were plans in the 80s to do a huge development. Muller family spent a lot of time and money to put what was gonna be like another winter place up where the snowmaking pond is,
Mhm.
over towards the golf course. And I don't know if that horseshoe had something to do with being able to go up the, you know, I don't know. But I think that that's something that everybody needs to look into to see whether or not it makes sense to abandon that. Harry said to me that he thought that it made complete sense to just abandon it. Why is it there? And that would save the town some money, and that was, to me, that was gonna be a complete waste of money to spend the money on replacing that connection when it doesn't solve anything. That was ill-advised, in my
Gotcha.
opinion.
Gotcha. Where'd that idea come from? Okay.
I have no idea.
I was told it was because if you have dead ends, the water becomes stagnant at the end of the line where we're at. So by having a circle, it keeps the water moving, is what I was told. So whether that's it or not, I don't know.
But when you ask Joe whether or not there's problems at any other dead ends,
There's not.
There's not.
There's, from what we've been told, there's not.
No.
so I'd hate to see the town, or I'd hate to see anybody spend that kind of money, because that was not gonna be an inexpensive spend on doing that. I'd hate to see that money get spent when it could be allocated in another direction.
I think that's why it would be wise for us to bring in,
Engineers.
yeah,
Yeah.
an A&E or an MSK engineers. They specialize in drinking water. We just need to have them start to diagnose some of this.
Mhm.
Not to abandon the M&M idea of put the valves in, we get warm temperatures. So,
I think like Bill said, the valve's gotta be put in anyway, right?
You gotta be able to isolate the water.
You
You gotta be
gotta-
able to shut it down, and right now you can't.
Right, you gotta have control over it, so.
You shut one valve down, you shut down the whole streets.
Mhm.
yeah.
Okay, so I guess we're at the point where we'll check with, you'll check your, the history and the background and get to, see if we can get this, vote in
Mhm.
for a grant, or for money. And, you'll write a letter, or we'll give you some confirmations on the date, a realistic date, once we know what we can do, you know, for the voting and that kind of thing. But we will not let it go past March or April. That I can guarantee you. As long as the Arctic doesn't stay here for another 6 months, we're all set. We don't know.
It's been a long cold snap.
Yeah. So I apologize again for the delay in this, but we will get it going, and we'll credit the abatements
Thank you.
for 25 and 26. And keep me advised or I can meet with you with Joe and go over this, because
Okay.
I really need to get involved in it at this point. Dave will be back next month, but, yeah, I'm disappointed Joe's not here tonight either, so. They would have both, Dave and Joe would know more about it than what we do, basically, but we see your issues, we know your issues.
We'll talk as to why Joe's not here.
Hmm?
We will talk as to why Joe is not here.
Okay.
Do we need a motion to be able to
I think
get
you
this?
should.
All right, well,
Yep.
I move to do the credit for the abatement on the water bills back to March of 2025 for both 15 and 16 Thompson Ave. You second that?
I'll second that.
All right.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we'll keep you guys posted. I appreciate you coming in.
Yeah,
Um,
thanks, guys.
We'll keep right on top of it.
Thank you.
You know what's really funny?
Thank you, everybody.
Is
All right,
if you
thanks for
look
coming in,
Yeah.
guys.
No, I appreciate you
If you
guys
looked
coming,
at
yeah,
my
thanks.
toilet
Yep.
Good night.
If you looked at my toilet bowl, it looks like somebody peed. I live in
Yes.
Brockton.
Oh, you did?
You know, the water,
Yeah.
I feel bad.
I was-
I filter water for my dogs.
Oh,
I
you're
buy
talking
drinking
about-
water.
Well, no,
And
I
you know,
I
every
have
town
heard,
said
so
in
for
their
the
update,
trustees,
go
I
get
call her
filtration
and see
systems
them.
for
Okay.
your home. And I feel like.
Yeah, we
I can
approved
send
25
you-
prospects. So.
Okay.
Municipal manager updates.
Thank you for that. that needed to happen,
Yes.
and we will continue to move forward in a positive manner to try and address. It's very strange, those two homes, but
Yeah.
we'll move forward. So other drinking water revolving fund applications that have been submitted on our behalf. One from MSK, they're the engineers out of Bennington, Burlington, and Essex. They did some inventory stuff for us in the past, and they submitted an application on our behalf to continue Ludlow service line identification and non-lead validation
Okay.
requirements. So they submitted that one. A&E submitted 3. We talked about Thompson and Orion. Pleasant Street Extension to finish that one, and then Lower High Street.
Okay.
Lower High Street also has wastewater and then drainage improvements.
Okay.
So we've talked about all of these projects, but just kind of to let you know that that just happened the end of last week. Submitted those to the state, and that's where the priority points do play a
Mhm.
role in terms of trainings that town officials have taken, that sort of thing, because it's all based on points. So I'm learning all of this as I go, but
Does
this
it,
one-
do they get to choose the priority of our list, or?
it's all ranked.
Yeah.
We
It's,
were put right at the top, weren't we, because of the classes that Joe and we went to?
I need to go back and see which, the projects too are ranked based on whether or not we've done work on them, so like the age of the system, have you had problems? And with Thompson and Orion, this one's gonna rise to the top.
That's what I was wondering, can
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
escalate something? Okay.
I have not yet reached out to the state agency that oversees these projects, because that's the next step, is to start
Mhm.
building that relationship and seeing if there's something that we can do to kind of ensure our projects
Okay.
rise to the top. So more to come on that one. That's all I have.
Okay. Any other business to be brought before our board?
Aaron, do you have any other business? All
No.
right.
Okay. Set date for next meeting, which is March 3rd, 2026, 5 o'clock. Any agenda items for next meeting? I'm sure we'll have plenty. Signed warrants, we did that inside before we come over here, so everything's signed.
Okay.
Do we need a possible executive session for any
I do need
reason?
one.
Yes. Okay, we will go into executive session.
I move to have an executive session now.
I'll second that. And it's at
5:45.
5:45.